Hi there, I'm Jeshua. We at Deep Dive Publishers provide tips, tools, and training to help aspiring authors become bestsellers with self-publishing. You might be wondering, what is Publisher Rocket and why does it matter to authors? Publisher Rocket is proprietary software provided by our friends over at Kindlepreneur. They have a vast variety of information on self publishing, and they've also used a lot of that information to provide software for authors to get an even better edge against the competition. There are a lot of things that you can do in order to make your book do better on Amazon or any other marketplace. It's not just about writing a good book, even though that is a very important factor. There are all sorts of marketing tactics that can be utilized, and if you spend any amount of time in the self-publishing space, you're going to hear all kinds of people tell you about all different sorts of methods. Building a mailing list, leveraging social media accounts, doing YouTube, any other sorts of things. And depending on who you listen to, they'll specifically say one thing is more important than the others, or they might say just do all of it. That's not exactly practical. It's probably a better idea to focus more on a few things, especially early on, and then once you're good at those few things, you can branch out and increase the likelihood of further success with more stuff. But especially early on in your author career, don't spread yourself too thin. Naturally, the more you do, the better the potential results, the potential sales, but there are a lot of things that you can waste a lot of time on. There are 6 things that we recommend personally as the foundation for any successful book, either on Amazon or any other marketplace, online or not. First, you need a good book. A great book would be better, but especially if you're starting out, good needs to be good enough because the only way to do a great book is by having written a lot and have a lot of feedback. Next, you'll need a great title. The title needs to fit your category and it needs to evoke some sort of emotion in the potential reader. Whether it's curiosity or intrigue or fear or excitement, there needs to be some kind of evoked emotion because if you don't hook their emotions, they're not hooked and they're not buying. You also need a great cover. People do judge books by their cover. It's just a fact of life. And if your cover isn't good, and if your cover does not fit the categories that your book is in, people are not going to buy. Reviews are also important. No reviews, and people are going to be a bit sketchy about spending money on something that nobody has said anything about. A bunch of bad reviews, and people are going to be running for the hills rather than running for their wallet. Finally, we have keywords and categories. Keywords make it possible for people to search for your book on Amazon or any other online store. It's the same principle as with Google. You might have come across this very video because you were searching with some keywords on YouTube or Google. It's the same idea with a book. You would type in something like thriller and find things like thriller books, psychological thriller, thriller book bestsellers. You need the right keywords for your book. They need to be accurate, and they also need to be something that people are actually looking for, because even if it is an accurate descriptor for your book, but no one's looking for that specific key phrase or keyword, nobody's going to find it that way, so it's just a waste of space. The software in question right here is Publisher Rocket. We can take a look at how they organize and show their keywords by checking one out. As I said, with thriller, you're going to get all sorts of similar things, things that are potentially under thriller, thriller books, but again, you have all these different options here, and you would want to go through and see, let's just look at thriller books. One of the great things about Publisher Rocket is you get all of these statistics, most of which you do not get if you're simply doing the same type of searching on Amazon itself. You can see the average pages for something under the thriller book keyword. The number of competitors is quite large. The average price is $10. The average monthly earnings is very, very good. Amazon searches are also very good, so the number of people searching that keyword is very high, but the competition score is very high. You probably want to go with something that's 50 or less, maybe 60 if you know what you're doing. So that one, probably not the one you would want to use if you were trying to sell a thriller book, at least early on. Categories are similar in theory, at least. On Amazon, you can't even sell a book without having a category selected for that book. It is pretty much a genre, so if you're familiar with genres, you know what a category is. There are certain criteria that need to be met in order for your book to be classified as a specific genre, and there are different audiences for those genres and different things that those audiences are looking for. Now, if you're one of those authors, I was one of them at one point, who does not believe that you want to write to a genre, you want to write whatever it is that comes to mind and hope for the best. We have a video talking about, probably over here, talking about why that is not the best idea, and hopefully it will convince you otherwise. Just as with the keywords, Publisher Rocket can help you search for categories. Now, when you go to category search, it will just give you a massive list of all the major ones. So with our current example, we were doing thriller, which is right here, mystery, thriller, and suspense. You can click check it out, and then it'll give you, again, everything here, starting with Audible. It's alphabetized normally, but you can also do it by any one of these factors that you would like. It shows the number of sales required per day to hit number one, according to Publisher Rocket's variables. Amazon tests hourly, but Publisher Rocket does daily, as well as sales to number 10. And so you would go through here and go through the process of figuring out which ones would best match your book. We have another video talking about this in more detail. Publisher Rocket can also help you analyze your competition. One of the things that is not in our 6 best practices of title, good book, all those things that I mentioned earlier in the video, the competition is an important thing to keep in mind. There are other people doing things in your same category, in your same keywords, and you want to find out what they're doing to be at the top. You might even want to look at people who are not doing well to see what they're not doing correctly. You might want to do some comparing and contrasting. And so again, it's already propagated a little bit because I looked this up earlier today. You would get all sorts of actual books this time. You would see, say you wanted to be in direct competition with the guilty ones. You can see how long it's been out. You can see the price, you can see the number of daily sales and the number of monthly sales, and you can also hit check it out and it'll take you directly to the Amazon page, and you can do a little bit more in-depth searching for that. Finally, Publisher Rocket also helps with Amazon ads. Now, you may or may not want to consider Amazon ads for your own book, depending on the level of your previous success, if you have any, depending on your budget. But Amazon ads can be extremely helpful because rather than waiting for people to either be searching through a category to find their next book or using keywords to search for the next book, with an ad, people who are already inclined to be interested in your book because of the categories and keywords that they already have used previously with Amazon's targeted ad system, you can put your book in front of the eyes of potential readers, which as you might guess, there are some really great ways of making potential sales that way. Meta has become a multi-billion-dollar corporation because of its success with ads. And Amazon, though they make money other ways, they focus a lot on their advertising. And you need to be able to do that correctly. Kindlepreneur, the people who have made Publisher Rocket for everybody, actually have a very good tutorial series on how to do ads properly. So between their tutorials and their ad search, you have a much better chance of seeing actual success with your ads and not just wasting money. In conclusion, Publisher Rocket is a tool you can use to greatly improve the likelihood that your book is going to hit the right categories, has the right keywords, and is competitive with the best in your genre. It can also put your book in front of the eyes of potential readers by enhancing your ads. If any of that sounds interesting and you'd like to have a better chance at success, I've got good news for you. If you use the link below, not only will you be buying Publisher Rocket, but you'll also be getting access to our complete self-publishing bundle, where we walk you through all the steps from book idea to publishing, launching, and selling on Amazon. We also show you the Amazon KDP dashboard and walk you through the entire process of uploading your book to Amazon. One of our clients, before they were working with us, took 2 days to figure out everything they needed to do on those pages on the dashboard. We'll also give you our deep dive writing guide, a tool you'll use to make your book as good as you can possibly make it. Normally, we'd sell all of this for $497, but if you use the link below and buy Publisher Rocket for only $97, you get all of it. Since you've made it to the end of the video, hopefully that means you've liked it. If you did, go ahead and actually like it. And if you have any questions, leave a comment, and go ahead and subscribe. It helps the channel and lets us know that we should make more content like this.